everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Devren Cook, and in today's video I'm going to go over 7 different things that you need to know when looking to buy real estate in 2020. So let's go. All right, and the first thing you guys need to be aware of is that with everything that's going on in the world right now, there is a lot of volatility in the market. And something to be aware of when looking to buy a home or a piece of real estate in 2020 is you're not necessarily going to be able to time the market. There's a lot of talk about whether or not we're going to be in a real estate recession in 2020. If that was to be the case, and if that does happen, the likelihood that you will actually be able to time the market and buy a home when it's actually at the bottom is significantly low. The reason being is that people just don't have a crystal ball and aren't able to predict the future. So if you think that you're some genius real estate guru and you can predict exactly when the property values are going to tank and what's going to happen, and if they are going to tank in the first place, you're probably something special, and that's really great for you. Most people aren't going to be able to do that, and if they try and time the market, they're either going to buy when it's not at the bottom or right after it starts coming back up. Now this leads right into the second thing I want to point out, and that is that despite all the volatility in the market, even if property values were to go down significantly and we were to be in a recession, if you're looking to hold your property for 5 to 7 years or longer, even if you close on a house that's $300,000 and the day after you close, the property values tank and it's worth only $200,000 or $250,000, you'll be able to weather that storm and your property values will increase as long as you're looking to hold the property for 5, 7, 10 years plus. If you're looking to buy a home and only keep it for 2 years, maybe 3 years, that's probably going to end up costing you more money than it's worth. And so probably don't do that. Look to buy a home and keep it for 5 years minimum, 7 years, 10 years. The longer you keep it, the more money you're going to make. When you look at those two things in conjunction with each other, one being the volatility in today's market and the uncertainty, we really don't know what's going to happen. Property values could continue to go up or they could go down. We don't really know. But when you look at that, as well as look at the fact that home values over time, over long stretches of time, do go up, you should be able to find peace and certainty that as long as you buy the home and are going to be just living in it for a good number of years, 5 years plus, you'll be coming out all right and you'll be just fine. The second thing I want to point out is that mortgage rates are exceptionally low. They are fluctuating a lot. There's also a lot of volatility in the mortgage rates right now, and there's a lot of lending standards that are tightening right now. And depending on the lender, some lenders are now requiring 640 credit score, 650, 660 versus the previous like 580 in order to get a loan and to get you pre-approved. That's going to vary somewhat from lender to lender, but across the board, the lending standards are tightening, and that means that you're going to need a higher credit score in order to get into a home. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that you're going to need to work harder in order to get the home. But once you do, and once you have that credit score that you need, you'll be able to save a lot of money because your interest rates are going to be very, very low. And the higher your credit score is, if you've got a 750, 800 credit score, your interest rate will be exceptionally low, probably in the 3.5% range, and you'll be able to great deal on that rate and save a lot of money on your interest that you would otherwise really just be throwing away by waiting and getting a higher rate. Now, the fourth thing I want to touch on specifically applies to Texas, and that is that real estate has been deemed by our governor as an essential business. If you're looking to buy in Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, wherever you're looking to buy, know that you can still go out, you can buy a home, you can see the homes, you can get your inspection, your appraisals, you can close, you can do everything you need in order to buy a home because it is essential business and it has been deemed such by our governor. Know that you can still buy a house. If you have a lease that's ending and you got to get into a house, you can still make it happen. Now, the fifth thing I want to point out, which goes hand in hand with real estate being an essential business in Texas, is that there are going to be a lot of people that still need to buy but don't necessarily want to buy a house and get out and go around, be walking in people's homes, maybe be exposing themselves to whatever they might be exposed to. And so the solution to that is virtual tours. If you have a great agent, you're going to be able to get a virtual tour of the property either via a 3D rendering, via Matterport or some other company. Your agent can go out and do a FaceTime or a Zoom meeting with you, walk the property himself or herself. That way, you can sit in the comfort of your home, you can still view the property, you can look at all the details of it, write the offer, and get it accepted and move forward on that purchase without actually having to leave your home, especially if you're in self-quarantine. Now, the sixth thing I want to point out as well is that if you are in a secure job and you are in an industry that's not threatened at all by the economic downturn and the volatility right now, feel assured that you can go buy a home and nothing's really going to change for you, and that's a great position to be in. If you are in a position or in a job or in a market where you've been furloughed or you think you might be furloughed or just lose your job entirely, hold off on buying a home home. You don't want to buy a home when it doesn't make financial sense for you. If you think you have a legitimate reason and plausibility of losing your job, don't go and buy a home right now, because you don't want to buy the home and then in that process lose your job and potentially lose money that you've invested in that home purchase. Which leads me right to number 7. Make sure that buying a home is a financially sound decision. Make sure that you are in a good position with your job, that you have some security, you're not going to get let go, you're not going to get furloughed, you're not going to have pay reductions, anything like that. If you are in a great position like that, move forward, buy the home, live in it for 5, 7, 10 years plus. Know that you'll be able to make money, because the home value will appreciate and you're going to get a great interest rate and be saving money right now. If you are in a position where you think you will be losing your job, or you don't have the money saved up, or maybe your credit score just isn't there, feel assured that it'll be totally fine. You can wait a couple of months, 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months, whatever it needs to be. You can buy a home later once your situation has improved, and that will ultimately be a blessing to you. The last thing you want is to buy a home and have it be a curse rather than a blessing. You want to buy a home and have it help you build wealth and not put you into bankruptcy or anything like that. So I hope that makes sense, everybody. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Remember to like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends and family, and let me know if you need anything else. I'll see you in the next one.